And we are recording. Hi, Bo. So today is Monday, August 10th, 2020. And I'm with Bo, the brains behind the NomadicEveryman Intelligence Network. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. And his assistant, Scott Creighton of the churchdog42 channel. Dun, dun, dun.
How y'all doing?
Hi, Bo. Oh, that's cute. That was a good shot of him. I hope it, but Skype will cut out part of it, so
yeah,
that's a problem.
That's why I had to. And cricket.
Oh, I like cricket.
I got some feedback.
Yeah,
I can hear
cricket really likes hanging out in that room. I guess. Why is that? Because it was your mom's room, and she would hang out with your mom, or she just likes being with you, or what? I don't know.
Well, that's the morbid interpretation.
I know. We won't go there about what cricket saw. What did the cat see? Oh, no.
She was under the bed the whole time.
Yeah, that poor cat.
I don't know. I guess because she likes me. I don't know.
That's surprising.
Yeah. That is always surprising. There's no accounting for taste. How you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm okay. Yeah. We only got about 45 today, so what are we talking about?
Well, we were originally going to talk about Lebanon, and more has happened there, so I don't know if you want to kind of follow up. And it's very interesting, a very complicated situation there. Yeah.
Somehow
so I'm glad we waited because I know a little bit more. Not that I'm an expert, but
somehow I don't think it's as complicated as we might think from the outside looking in. But you said there were new details, new updates. What's happening so far right now?
Well, the government has resigned. A couple of the cabinet ministers, environment and information, and I think environment was probably both over the explosion, and now the whole government has resigned, and so there's a figurehead president. What is this, Michelle Un or something? So they're supposedly gonna hold new elections. So they'll just kind of recycle the same people, I think. And I don't know. I don't know. That's what I think.
Yeah. Well, from what I understand, what's his name? Diab? Is that how you pronounce his last name?
Yeah, Diab. I think that's right. Yeah.
Diab said he's going to remain.
Really?
In power for the next 2 months as a kind of a caretaker.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
In order to ensure that the structural reforms that they had worked out with the IMF are put in place.
Oh, damn.
And then he's going to get the fuck out. So, I don't really see it as a positive thing. Obviously, anything that could help the people there. They've been suffering a lot even before this thing happened. But I'll tell you the truth. And this is when we first started discussing this. It first happened. We talked about the regime change and these guys with the color revolution thing going down there, and I was like, well, they've been suffering and going through a lot prior to that, and it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. And remember, we talked about it before. I said, if this were any other country, we would look forward to a regime change if these people had been forcing austerity on the people and they were tired of it. And now they got even more indebted to the IMF, and the IMF wants more fucking structural reform to the country, because we all know what that means, more austerity. So we would be like supportive of that government leaving. Now that government is leaving. And I think what's going to end up happening, Nasrallah finally did make a statement. And I published the written version of that statement because I couldn't, I never trust the translations on a video anyway, but it's an interesting statement. It's long, and a lot of platitudes and the usual stuff from politicians.
Mm-hmm.
But he does say that it struck him. Typically, he said that when these things happen, everyone who has these conflicts and has these different agendas, usually what they'll do in a decent society is they'll put those on hold and they'll all work together and try to put the differences aside, fix as much as they can, and then in a week or a month or however long it takes, they'll go back to their conflict, you know. And there's a lot of conflicts politically and obviously in Lebanon. What he said, though, that struck him was there were still fires burning. And I said this in the video, my previous video, there were still fires burning. And these assholes were blaming Hezbollah for running the port, which is ridiculous, blaming Hezbollah, saying it was a Hezbollah stockpile of weapons, which is where that bullshit fucking story about, you know, the Israeli insider claiming they blew up a stockpile of Hezbollah weapons.
Oh, right. Yeah,
it wasn't about blaming Israel. That was about saying, and continuing that fucking bullshit narrative that it was a Hezbollah stockpile, so it's Hezbollah's fault.
Right.
Yes. He said he was surprised at the ruthlessness of it and at the suddenness of it. But like I said, they have to, when they see these things happen, they have to jump on them immediately. So hopefully what's going to happen is, if they do hold a legitimate snap elections for the parliament, maybe Hezbollah ends up fucking gaining seats. Hezbollah could theoretically come to full power in fucking Lebanon if they don't try to bar them from participating, which might actually happen to them.
Yeah, you don't know. Yeah, there's a systemic problem there that's been there for decades.
Yeah.
Deliberately to make things difficult for them. Yeah.
Well, I think, yeah, that's true. I think there's definitely going to be a concerted effort to make sure that, I saw an exchange between you and somebody else. Yeah. There's definitely going to be a concerted effort to, when they have a new prime minister selected and a new cabinet put in place, they'll definitely try to make sure that they're friendlier to the U.S. and Israel and in terms of what's going on with Syria and so forth, opening up the markets and all that. However, sometimes these things backfire. When you actually have an election, go back to the election that we forced and that we pushed as hard as we could in Gaza eons ago, because everyone was so sure that the puppet regime out of fucking West Bank that was pro-Israel and Israel-friendly would win. Turns out Hamas came to power. You never know. When you have paper and pencil and plexiglass, like what they're going to do in Lebanon, and you have an election, you never know what the results are going to be. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. But what is it? So in Lebanon, it's similar to, well, you know, in the Middle East, people don't realize it used to be, it's still more diverse than people realize. Not as much since the War of Terror. So a lot of Christians have been driven out. So the system that they have still in place in Lebanon is still basically the old French colonial system that keeps everybody divided along sectarian lines.
Right.
And as that one lady, was it? Yeah. Remember that interview? It was with Aaron Matei on his Pushback show. And she was interesting. You know, you take everything with a grain of salt, but it was interesting what she was saying is that people in Lebanon, they intermarry, you know, between communities. So it's not like they're ghettoized, but the system in place politically ghettoizes them.
Right.
And it's not good for a functioning nation if you want, you know, a strong sovereign nation. And Iraq was somewhat like that. different. There were sectarian divisions, but under the Ba'athist, what?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, under the Ba'athist, I think people were more united.
They were.
And that's the Ba'athist party, Ba'ath party in Syria, same sort of thing.
Right. Right.
So they don't really have, I guess, a secular national sovereign system in Lebanon. They have it divided along sectarian lines, and it's ultra neoliberalized too. Yeah. Already since the 90s, after the Civil War, they put back in place the old French colonial system that led to this Civil War.
This is true, and this is all true. But I mean, a lot of people, and myself included, have been looking at this October Revolution of theirs because there were elements from outside that were influencing it.
Yeah.
But what we failed, and what I tried to mention in my previous video, we failed to take into consideration is, like you said, this is an ultra neoliberalized nation. Oh, yeah. And they are in the process, this whole banking thing, this whole issue of the banking thing, of digging in deeper. And I think what we see is people there are done with it. They're pissed. Every country that is neoliberalized like this ends up at this juncture. So this could be a good thing for them because it's an opportunity for them to, okay, you got your new elections, and of course we're just going to buy off the same people. We're going to buy off the people. If we have any new people, then we're going to buy them off like we did before. And everybody will think things are going to be better for the next 3 or 4 years until they get sick of the fact that it's still the same shit, and then we're back in the same place. The other possibility, though, is something new does come to power, like Hamas in Gaza. Now, you can say things have gotten worse for the people of Gaza because they voted the wrong way and they've been made to pay for it. But we'll see, I think.
Yeah, but not everybody's going to, Gaza is different. So you don't have people divided as much along sectarian lines, I would say.
The sectarian lines thing, I get that. I understand that.
I know, yeah.
But the old saying goes, it's the economy, stupid.
Yeah, I understand.
And there's a shared suffrage that's taking place in Lebanon. It has been for quite some time. Mm-hmm. So I think that time by itself, that anger, I'm wondering if that pushes people to see past the sectarian lines. And we don't know.
I think the crisis right now is about a challenge to Lebanese national sovereignty, really. And in connection, it's very much connected to Syria. We have to remember what's going on in Lebanon. Lebanon and Syria used to be one. It was known as the Levant.
Yeah, I get that again, but people who are going to go to the polls and vote in Lebanon aren't thinking about Bashar al-Assad. That's about Lebanon. They're now dealing with Lebanon, and I understand that there is an overall agenda at stake, at play here. I wanted to say a minute ago, I've actually seen one article, I think out of The Guardian, don't quote me, where somebody was saying maybe it's time because of these sectarian divides that they break up Lebanon into smaller little countries.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, I agree with you. I know that's the agenda, but my thing is, maybe the people of Lebanon see past all of that, and they vote for their own interests. And just like what happened in Gaza, because they kept telling them, and we influenced, and Israel tried to influence that vote. They were sure that was a PLO or somebody was going to come to power in Gaza and unify all of Palestine, and under the the pro-Israeli fucking flag of PLO, whoever it was, and the people said no.
Yeah, I guess it's more about. I'm sort of thinking right now that I kind of compare it somewhat to the electoral system in the U.S. and how dysfunctional that is. And it's systemic. It's the whole system, the way the
Well, they haven't. When was their last election? I mean, they've been putting off the parliamentary election now for like 8 years.
I don't know.
It's been a while. They've been putting it off, and they were supposed to
But
have it. They were supposed to have it in 2018.
I know one of the things that the people there complain about is it's always the same figures. You know, you can have elections, but it's basically the same
oligarchs,
corrupt elite.
Yeah.
And I've heard that. You know, it's like, okay, right, we're gonna have elections. What good is that gonna do? I don't know.
It'll do a lot of good if Hezbollah comes to power. At least good, bad, or different. It'll change.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not sure that Hezbollah will be allowed to participate, but if they did, and here's the thing too, a lot of these people who have resigned because they know that eventually the fucking buck is going to stop on their desk, or at least partially, with this explosion. You know, so I think people are just getting the hell out, and you're not going to see them back. I mean, there might be the same people from the same parties, you know, with the same interests, vested interests, who are owned by the same oligarchs, but it won't be those specific individuals. Those people have resigned. Those who have officially resigned, they're gone. They're not going to come back. And they'll probably try to get the hell out of the country.
Yeah. Well, I'm not optimistic, and I don't know if you've read the Rose's stuff on the Penny for Your Thoughts blog. She's got a couple. I don't know if she's put anything out today. So she's put out some thoughts about Lebanon and that situation. It's interesting. I don't know if you've seen that or not.
I haven't.
I haven't read everything she goes back to during the Civil War and when Israel invaded and all that, and the Hariri assassination, that bombing, which that investigation was messed up too, I think.
Yeah. Was the Hariri who just resigned, was he related?
Yes, I think so, and I can't.
Because I saw the name, and I saw that Hariri had resigned, and I was like, is that the same family? Or
I think it's the same family, but I can't remember. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah. And that, I think that was, you know, they had an international investigation, and it looked like they were blaming Hezbollah, of course. And there's a lot of things were not really being investigated in that international investigation.
From what I understand, Israel killed Hariri.
That's I think so, yes.
But they didn't want to end up, they didn't want to fucking say that.
So they blame Syria. Or Hezbollah, or
We'll see. It's going to be interesting the next couple of months in Lebanon. If the guy does stick around, if Diab,
I think,
if he sticks around and imposes the IMF structural reforms on people, you should expect to see these protests grow and get more aggressive. Of course, then the color revolution boys. I don't know what their play on that would be. You know, they certainly wouldn't want him
it's
to
all about destabilizing, I think. Just keeping things.
Destabilize Lebanon now. A good part of Beirut was damaged. A quarter of it's pretty much gone. At least businesses are shut down. And their main port, they have one at Haifa, but their main port is.
No, that's in Israel. There's one at.
That's right.
I forget. There's another port, and I can't remember the name of the city. Can't remember.
But it's a smaller port. They got to upgrade.
Yeah, 80% of the stuff coming in was coming through Beirut's port.
Right.
Yeah, in the country. Yeah.
So you don't need to destabilize, and the government's resigned, so you don't need to destabilize them. Not seeking regime change because that's already done. What they could do is try to fucking destabilize it to the point where the military comes in and takes power. But I don't know who controls them. And I don't know what's
Hezbollah
right.
is very important in protecting Lebanon from Israel.
Yes.
Hezbollah is the force that keeps Israel from just swooping in and doing whatever they want. That's my understanding.
Didn't they defeat the IDF in 2005 or was it 2006 when Israel attacked Lebanon? Was it 2005 or 2006?
I don't recall the exact year, but yeah.
Like I said, I mean, it should be interesting to see what happens. I don't know. I didn't realize the government was that bad in Lebanon. But then again, at the same time,
it's systemic. Yeah.
At the same time, they were outspoken supporters of the government of Syria and the Palestinians. So you have some good and some bad.
Well, we can't forget the Caesar sanctions, the new sanctions in Syria, which affects Lebanon very much so. You know, they're so connected. And I think because of the other sanctions.
Well, to be specific, it affects Lebanese oligarchs who control the government. So it doesn't. It would sanction people who do business with or support those who do business with the government of Bashar al-Assad in Syria. So it would affect those oligarchs and not necessarily Lebanon in general. But still, that's to be considered. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and also the thing I think is that business people in Syria, because of sanctions, they were doing their banking in Lebanon to get around that, I think. So that whole Ponzi scheme, as it's been called, in the Lebanese banking system has hurt Syria too, even more than what's already been done. I'm not optimistic, but
I kind of am. Okay. You know, I don't think the Lebanese people are just going to let this roll and go on, and it's business as usual. Another goddamn. I think the establishment in Lebanon, I think that they postponed that parliamentary election from 2018 for a reason. I think they expected a backlash. And if they don't expect a backlash now, when they open up the polls in a month or however long it takes, if they don't expect a backlash now, someone's not paying attention. Someone's not doing their job. That's what they're going to get. Now that's the problem for the people who like the regime changers and the color revolutionists who go down there. This presents a different problem for them. There is no fucking government now. They have a caretaker government. They're going to try to get these IMF things in and get them locked into law so that the next government will have them. But controlling how those votes and how that fucking election unfolds, that's a difficult task for them because people are pissed. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
You there?
Oh, yeah. I think it was my... Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, it's my internet connect. My computer has this stupid thing. It will kind of interrupt the internet connection. The modem is fine. It's this computer sometimes will go, oh. Oh, anyway, so the investigation, I'm wondering if there's going to be a real investigation into that port blast. That's another thing I'm wondering about.
Well, if they bring in the FBI, there's not going to be a real investigation.
It's like the Hariri assassination. There was not a decent investigation. There was an international investigation.
Right. Yeah. Too bad they didn't have an international investigation in 9/11, huh? So,
well, It's interesting. I've learned a lot. I kind of knew, back in the 80s when I worked at, what,
Yeah.
I had to cover that. I had to keep an eye on the Middle East, and I kind of knew what was going on in Lebanon a little bit. Um, so I'm not an expert by any means. There's a lot of stuff I don't know, and a lot of the information I know is dated. So I've had to update myself on things about Syria and Turkey and the Middle East and Lebanon. But I knew a fair bit about Lebanon already and all that. I mean, people, because it's been a while. People don't have a memory of the Civil War and how bad things were there for 15 years.
Yeah.
It was destroyed, that country. It was devastated. 15 years. And people forget that both Israel invaded Lebanon and the US sent in troops. People have no memory of that. Yeah.
People also don't remember that Condoleezza Rice gave her birth pangs of the new Middle East speech outside of Lebanon.
Ah, yeah.
Right after the invasion or the attempted invasion by Israel. And of course, the 7 nations in 5 years
Yes.
includes Lebanon as well.
That's right. Yes.
So if Lebanon had been completely in our pockets, obviously they wouldn't be on that list. So even though certain aspects of it are controlled
Mhm.
and have been for a while,
Mhm.
there's still a reason that they wanted that country broken up.
But I could not believe, yeah, I could not believe when Macron arrives like the savior. God, I just really, and there were actually Lebanese who welcomed him. I'm going, really?
I mean, weren't they were a French colony for a while, weren't they?
Yeah, colony. They called it a mandate or a protectorate or something, but it was a colony
It was a colony.
until the 40s, until the 19. Yeah, because they broke up the Ottoman Empire, and so the UK and France got together and said, "We'll split up the Middle East. You can have that, and we'll get this." And yeah, that's the way it worked.
Well, that's the same thing. The birth pangs of the new Middle East.
That's
The
right.
same thing that what was his name? Lieutenant Colonel something.
Ralph Peters. What?
Ralph Peters.
Yeah. Okay.
Ralph
Yeah.
Peters drew up the map for that. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Which, by the way, includes Greater Kurdistan.
Mhm.
Anyway, so what else is in the news today, these days? There's a bunch of stuff going on.
Oh well, Hong Kong, a bunch of arrests.
Ah,
Me lie.
yeah.
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 And they put him in handcuffs he's been arrested a number of times, but this is the first time they put him in handcuffs.
I saw a thing where a bunch of people, a bunch of Chinese soldiers were going into his publication building.
Oh, those are the police, Hong Kong police.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it looked like an army of them, and they were there. People were like, "Oh my God, they're just invading!" And that's called a search warrant.
No, I know Joshua Wong said they didn't have a search warrant, and then the Hong Kong police, I followed their account. They said, "Yes, we did, and here it is." That's hilarious. So they're following Joshua. They're literally following Joshua because he's next. He hasn't been arrested yet, as far as I know yet.
The woman who was arrested.
Agnes Chow Ting is her full name. Chow Ting.
And she is affiliated with any of our NGOs? Are there any pictures of her?
That Demazisto NGO.
Are there pictures of her like with Jimmy Lai and like Marco Rubio and all those fucking asswipes? Has she ever been over here in the States and photographed with regime changers?
I'm not sure if she has. She's known for this stupid interview on BBC. She's an idiot, and she was not going to condemn the violence. And they're going, really? And
that's right. That's right.
Really?
That was her, huh? That's right.
That was her. Yeah, I'd like to know their full names with the Chinese. Agnes Chowting. Yeah. Agnes. They pick these lovely Anglo names.
She's got to have an Anglo, somebody Anglo, like a mother or grandmother or something.
Well, it's because in Hong Kong was a British colony, so yeah. That's common. I had a Chinese Malaysian friend, and he had an Anglo name too. They often do, because of the West is so dominant, or has been. So Jimmy Lai Chi-ying is his full name. Lai Chi-ying. That's his full name.
Yeah. So has he been arrested? No.
Who? Jimmy Lai?
Jimmy Lai's been arrested, but the
Joshua. No, not yet. But I'm waiting for that one.
Did they snatch up that dude, the white dude? What was his name?
Mark Simon?
No, the other one, the groomer, the guy with the mohawk hair.
No. Well, in Max Blumenthal's groundbreaking, breaking news article, he says, and I laughed at. He said sources in Hong Kong say that he's left Hong Kong. Brian Patrick Kern. That's the one. So they said and I laughed at this. So I was wondering, gee, I wonder if it's the U.S. consulate that told Max that.
He's friends with the State Department.
He's so connected. That's what I wondered.
Yeah.
No.
They should arrest him. They should wherever he goes, they should file to extradite his ass back to China.
Well, there's no extradition agreements with all the Five Eyes. They've all suspended that.
I know that.
Yeah.
But they still should.
Yeah, they should try it.
Yeah.
And then Jimmy Lai's a bag man. I call him Mark Simon. He's in Taiwan. He went there before the law took effect. They want to arrest him. The police, Hong Kong police, have said they would like to arrest Mark Simon too.
I'm surprised Joshua Wong. They say Joshua Wong is still in China. Still in Hong Kong.
Yeah, because he's been arrested. So there's a trial. They can't travel. Same thing for Jimmy Lai. He couldn't travel because he's been arrested. So
shit, you know damn well it's bullshit. They put him on a private plane somewhere. No one's gonna check.
I know. People have said they'll smuggle him out if they want to. So I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's just the way it's been reported. I don't know. And I love it that Joshua Wong has a Patreon page now.
You posted something about that, didn't you? I saw that. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you know the money's dried up.
My regime money is dried up.
His standard of living is suffering. His high-flying lifestyle.
I can't afford but half the coke and a few of the fucking hookers.
Oh, God.
You don't want to see me with a $500 hooker, do you? Damn, I need $1,000 hooker.
No.
I'm Joshua Wong.
I call him Mr. Wrong. That's what all these names. Like Nathan Law, I call him Nathan Outlaw or Lawless. And he's in the UK. He took off. Yeah, Nathan Lawless or Outlaw. All these I have fun with these Chinese names. Oh, Agnes Chow Chow, like the dog. How about that?
Nice.
Agnes Chow Chow.
So what else is going on in the news?
Trouble in Belarus too. You know, that election. I haven't seen everything but that's not looking good.
Well, I know that he won by was like 4 days ago.
80%.
80%.
Yeah, the vote.
The next closest was 9%.
Yeah, under 10. Yeah.
Some woman. Listen, people, like I said, you put fucking paper to pencil. If you're not using those fucking electronic voting machines, democracy is a funny way of doing some strange fucking shit.
Well, they're still saying it's fraudulent, the results.
It's not.
No, it's not, but that's what the Western propaganda is claiming.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't. It's hard to rig an election that much. Very hard.
Well,
and his opposition praised Hitler.
That said, there was what was that one person election they had in was it Yemen or was it Tunisia? And Hillary Clinton supported it. It was Yemen to impose not Yemen. Yeah, it was. No. Anyway, one of these things, Hillary Clinton was still in power in the State Department, and she organized an election with one person, just one person. And it was the vice president of the guy who had been kicked out in one of these Arab Spring things. One of the few legitimate Arab Spring.
Yeah.
So she won. Okay, we have an election. He's gone, and it's his vice president. And I think he got like 98% of the vote. So yeah, it's hard to rig an election to 80%, unless of course you get 99.9%. You know, and you're one of these fucking guys.
Well, I love that the opposition figure to the leader in Belarus came out praising Hitler. I love that. So that's who the West is behind, the candidate who's praising Hitler. That says it all. It says it all.
He was our guy too. Then again, so was Hitler.
I know. Yes.
No, but he was. I saw him. He said that he was concerned because a lot of the protests, they were tracking them and getting their cell phones, and they were tracking these calls coming in from outside the country, from places like the United Kingdom and Poland.
Poland, Czech Republic,
Russia,
yeah,
Czech Republic, and even Russia. Yeah. I guess that was our NGOs and our operators in Russia. But he said, "Yeah, we're tracking them down. We're going to hold these people accountable." And then
the expat vote was overwhelmingly against the leader, and somebody said, "Well, yeah, if you had Cuban exiles voting in a Cuban election, how do you think they would go?"
Yeah.
Like, really?
Well, in Miami.
No, Miami returns.
And all Miami says is anybody but Castro. And that's it. They don't care. Anybody but Castro.
God.
Now, he was, there's some, but the protests there are small. It's a small country, but the protests there are small by comparison.
But
Chicago was kicked off.
Huh? What's that?
Chicago was kicked off again.
Oh, God. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing about Belarus is that, they call that leader, or they call that country the last dictatorship in Europe.
That's right.
And it's also the last, I guess it's the only former Soviet republic that kept the Soviet system.
Yeah.
That they weren't neoliberalized. They still have all the old Soviet programs and everything to help people, and standard living is relatively decent there compared in the
Which might help explain why 80% of the people voted for him.
Yeah.
That and the fact that he stood up to the IMF on that fucking COVID-19 shit when they said, "Okay, here's some money if you lock the country down." He said no, and he exposed what they were doing. And that was like 2 weeks before the fucking election took place. So I believe 80% is probably accurate.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
Especially given the small size of the protests that I've seen. And I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but I've seen some.
Yeah, you don't see large numbers.
They remind me of the Hong Kong terrorists, small little groups and bands of ultra-violent people. So. We'll see. But Chicago's kicked back off. That's exciting.
Yeah, that's sad, that they fixate on that one shooting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, over the weekend,
40 people were shot, 4 of them dead.
Yeah.
And like you said in your tweet, crickets. Is anybody, are all the white folks marching down the street because of them? No. Mm-hmm. Because supposedly a dude shot at cops and the cops shot back. Now again, that's what the police said.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see what actually.
That's why I said reportedly.
Right. That's why we'll wait and see what comes of that. And if there's I did see a photograph, supposedly of the pistol that the kid had. It was small. Could have easily been a ankle fucking drop pistol that some officer carries with him. That's a thing that happens. So you never know. However, so far right now, the story goes, and I think the guy was still alive. At least when I did my video this morning, he was.
It sounded like it. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. So that's what motivates all the white folk in fucking Chicago to push their bicycles down the street in a protest.
Yeah.
Not the 40 people who were shot and 4 killed over the course of just this weekend. Nah, screw them.
Yeah.
They
Well,
just
that's what, on your video I put, so cops and whitey are de facto bad. Cops and whitey.
Cops and whitey. I don't understand what they actually think is going to be a difference between community. The thing that they're pushing for is CPAC, community fucking policing. I believe that police should represent the communities in which they serve. And so I think hiring people in the police departments out of the community is a good thing. The problem is in these bad communities, poor communities, working class communities, the police get paid more than the average person there. Yeah. So they end up wanting to move to a
that's right.
different location.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then they're no longer in that community, but they came from it. Yeah. I think that's certainly reasonable, but this whole thing about community policing, dude shot at the officer. If you have a community cop with a gun and you have a city cop with a gun, they're both going to shoot back. I mean, that's just kind of human nature, You shoot at me, I'm going to shoot at you. I've never been in that situation, so I don't necessarily know that that's true, but my guess is, if you shoot at me, I'm going to shoot back at you. How is that different? They're protesting, they're marching for community policing, which would be exactly the same result as the situation that they're protesting. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Oh, there was a video once of, the Hong Kong cops are so well trained and they're funny sometimes. There's a video, I gotta find this video again. So there's this Hong Kong cop and he and another cop are dealing with one of these rioters or terrorists or whatever. And they're fighting. and one of the cops is trying to diffuse the situation and going, please, it's okay. And he does this. He's like the best Hong Kong cop you ever saw. He's just, please, it's okay, calm down. Doing this, coming between the cop and the rioter, trying to diffuse. He's doing this. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Them and if you remember, go back 2011, 2012, Ukraine, and the color revolution that took place there.
2013, 2014. Yeah, the winter. Yeah.
Thank you.
Maidan.
If you look back at those, the police there were so reserved. And you remember the battles that took place, like inside that building on those stairs, the battles that took place, and those guys were armed, and the rioters were, serious. They weren't trying to inflict serious bodily harm. Yeah. Had that been any police department in the United States, there'd have been some shot fuckers lying on the goddamn marble staircase, man. Those guys would have been shot.
Yeah, so it's in Hong Kong when they're complaining about police brutality. No, really?
They are extremely reserved. I mean, they are well disciplined.
God, they take a beating before they,
Yeah.
They get fingers bitten off and
fire bombs thrown at them and shit. I mean, stabbed with fucking sharpened umbrella.
And they'll point a gun. They have once or twice pointed a gun. They don't fire it. They're just warning them. And I love the banners that they stick up warning. I love the banners warning.
We're about to shoot.
I love the warning. They have different color banners. They warn the crowds. That's hilarious. Warning.
I'm on my last fucking nerve.
And it's in Chinese and in English, in case. So they stick up the banner. They even did that. Oh, some of the terrorists or rioters were trying to threaten People's Liberation Army base in Hong Kong. Mm-hmm. And even there, when they were getting too close and too threatening, even at the army base, they stick up a banner and warn them.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's amazing. Reservation. That's that we should, instead of sending our cops to fucking Israel to be trained, maybe they should send them to Hong Kong.
Yeah. Well, the People's Liberation Army is so restrained. They came out, they let some of the troops come out, I think, to clean up, all the spikes and things they were put in the roads. So they brought out a bunch of them, and they weren't in military uniforms. They were in like gym shorts and t-shirts, and they ran out and they did the cleanup. They weren't even in military uniforms. Yeah, that's an army.
Yeah. So what else is going on? This thing else that's missing here. I forget what it is. What is it? Oh, Donald Trump looking to fucking defund Social Security and Medicare.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No. He's not getting away with it. There's no way he gets away with that. There's no way.
He what? Sorry, I can't hear you.
There's no way he gets away with that.
I hope not. I sure hope not.
Well, you can't. I mean, it's legally, it won't stand up. The House handles the fucking purse strings. That's the way it's written in the Constitution. No. Social Security has been around for a long time. It is very well respected and liked by the people in this country.
Yeah, that was FDR's program, Social Security. Yeah.
And you can't just fucking willy-nilly say, okay, because I'm Emperor Trump, it's not going to exist anymore. I'm going to defund it now. And I don't care what anybody says. Folks going around saying, well, back when Obama did it in 2011, whenever it was, for 2%, that when he did it for just 2%, that took $115 billion out of the Social Security fucking trust fund funding in 1 year, and it was in place for 2 years. But I don't care what anybody says. He's not putting. They're not going to put that money back into the fucking trust fund, because he would take out the whole fucking 12 point something percent, whatever it is, between the employer and the employee. That's what his executive order does. You're talking. I mean, if 2% was 115 billion back then, what's all 12% going to be in a year? They don't have that kind of money just floating around in fucking bonds to pump back into the fucking Social Security to fill that void. And of course, what's the whole point? Just like back in those days, 6 months after it started, along comes Barack Obama and other people saying, oh my goodness, there's a crisis for Social Security. Maybe we should think about privatizing it. That's why they're doing it. That's why he's doing it. That's why he did it back in 2000 and whenever it was with Barack Obama, and that's why he's doing it now. I certainly hope that the Democrats, and from what I understand and what I've read, a lot of Republicans are pushing back on it as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Because remember, he ran saying, I'm not touching Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. People like it. People respect it. People want it. It's their money. They've already paid into it. God damn it. We should keep our hands off it. Now he's doing this shit. As soon as he fucking did that, Sunday, all these people on Twitter going, and Trump has won the election, as if that was a wonderful thing. Yeah. Actually, he just fucking betrayed all these people that voted for him 3.5 years ago. Bo, you are such a pain in the fucking ass with this. This ball had been missing for like 2 weeks.
What? The ball was missing for 2 weeks. Where was it?
Is that little that green table way back there? This is leaned out the third table. It had rolled up and was behind that, and he couldn't get to it. And so I didn't even know it was there. I just found it a while ago.
Oh, shit.
And now here I am back to this. Yeah, go back and look at my videos. I've been playing fetch with him for a while.
All right. Okay.
and every time I throw it now, I'm trying to throw it back behind fucking little green. I'm going to hit it. There's a little spot I can look just perfect. It'll miss that door. It'll miss that candy.
Oh, the crickets. She's watching your hand. She's watching.
That's it. Oh, I missed it by that much. It bounced off the
But I
paint.
thought it was funny. Cricket was watching you. Watching your hand, yeah. Look at her. That's funny.
So, what else we got going on? Anything? You're thinking about a trip.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Is that something you want to announce publicly or not?
Should I?
I don't know.
Well, next month I'll be hitting the road. I haven't made the plans yet, so.
Hitting the friendly skies.
Yeah, I can't drive across the border, but I can fly. I can fly.
Because you know, when you get up in the air like that, the Rona's heavy.
The Rona stays on the ground. But I'm not looking forward to having to wear a mask on a plane. I'm really not. Jesus. Yeah.
Do they make you work the whole time?
Yeah, and only when you're eating and drinking, you don't have to wear.
Oh, I'd be drinking like.
Depends on the air. I looked at the airline rules. I'm gonna fly. You have to wear a mask except when you're eating and drinking.
Well,
so I'll be eating and drinking the whole flight.
That's right.
Eating the whole flight.
Just eat all their popsicles. You'll eat all their fucking popsicles.
Yeah.
I want 20 popsicles now. What are you eating? It's a popsicle stick. I have to tell the people. We started off this thing, and she was gonna eat real quick because she was hungry, and so I said okay. And I looked back up. She had just taken the popsicle out of the wrapper. It's like a Haagen-Dazs. Of course it was Haagen-Dazs, and she just fucking inhaled it. It looked for a second like she had just taken her nose and snorted it up. She just inhaled it. Less than a minute.
Hey, Scott. Scott. Snorting Haagen-Dazs. Product placement.
Less than a minute. That's right. Trying to get an endorsement here with Haagen-Dazs. Is that who it was, Haagen-Dazs?
Yeah, I got those at Costco because you can get those cheaper. You get things at a good price cheaper at Costco.
Yeah. But you had to buy like 70 of them, right?
No, it was a box of 6 or 8 or something. It wasn't a huge box. No.
Okay.
Wow.
I was quite impressed. I mean,
With my eating skills?
With your eating skills, yeah. I thought we'd be here like 15 minutes waiting for you to daintily nibble on the Haagen-Dazs. No. Not the Beebs.
No,
That's because she told me. That's because back during the Depression, her parents used to have to suck down the Haagen-Dazs as fast as they could. And so the poor people saw that they were eating the ice cream and took it from them. So they had to suck it down real fast.
Yeah. It was rough. It
was rough.
Hard times. Hard times.
Okay. Anything else?
I can't think of anything.
I think Lebanon's going to be an interesting story. How it shakes out.
Keep an eye on it. I'm keeping an eye.
I think
I'm going to wear my protective mask. So on the plane, I'll wear my mask like this. How's that? Is that okay?
Now that was going to go behind the fucking table, but he caught it beforehand. It looked like a yarmulke right there.
Yeah, I know. I like it.
Yeah.
It looks almost like here there are these Mennonite ladies, and they wear these tiny little bonnet things that don't even cover their head. That's what it looks like, I think.
I think in some cases, they're just a cloth and not even a bonnet. They're just a cloth.
No, it's hardly anything. It's just a symbolic covering on their head they wear.
That's what, yeah.
I could be Mennonite.
Yeah.
Well, they accepted me at that Mennonite Heritage Museum when I went in there, and it was a lot of German people. And I said, "Yeah, my name is Hammer," and they're like, "Okay, you're part of the club."
So now you're Mennonite.
Yeah. Oh, but what's funny at the little snack bar cafeteria in the Mennonite Heritage Museum, it was a young lady from Cambodia. And she goes to the Mennonite church here. You know, she just kind of has become part of this. So they got a Cambodian Mennonite. Yeah. And she said there are Mennonites in Cambodia, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And she's so, so she was familiar with the Mennonites. That's funny. Cambodian.
It should be a song, actually. All right.
Okay.
And were they impressed with your eating skills at the cafeteria and the Mennonites?
No, that's normal. Normal.
All Mennonites eat like that? That's when they accepted you. They said, "Oh shit, she's one of us."
She's a serious eater. She's a serious eater.
She throws her arm. Aunt Bibi's come by my place before, and we've gone out and we've had meals out, and she's like a prisoner. She puts an arm around the food.
Yes, I do this.
Starts growling.
I do this.
Starts growling at people when they get too close.
I slap your hand if you try to take a French fry. No.
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 Mine.
Mine. Mine.
I'll be sitting there eating, and she'll be like, "You done with that?" And I'm like, She goes, "Okay." She packages it up and takes it back home.
I hoard food.
I think it's charming.
Okay.
What else?
You said 45 minutes. We've done this for almost an hour now.
Oh, no. Oh, mine says an hour and 5 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh?
Huh?
You started recording before I did.
No, I didn't.
You didn't record?
It says Bart's recording the call. And she's gone.
Uh-oh. Oh, I know why. Because my computer cut out a little bit. I think that's why.
Not a whole 5 minutes.
No, I don't understand the difference in the... I'll be interested in seeing. There might be a little...
You know what? That might be the call.
That's the call. Yeah, that's the call. Yeah.
It started pretty much. Because you wolfed down the obstacle quick.
There might be some little interruptions there when the connection kind of...
Yeah.
But a couple little glitches, I think, maybe. I'll see. Yeah. Anyway.
Should we hit the people with the background real quick?
Oh, yeah, you should show. That's awesome. I don't think I have that option. I can't find it. Yeah, do that. Because that's funny. Yeah.
I wonder if that would show up on the recording or not. I hope it does.
I don't know. It's hard to say because the Skype recording is always different from what we see.
Yeah.
While we're...
And sometimes what we say.
Yeah, they edit. Is that it? You're not going to show all of them? Just this one?
I gotta show all of them. I thought I just put the one cute one up.
Yeah.
But no, you want to see them all.
Yeah.
I have this.
No.
Blurred.
It's your room. A blurry version of your room.
Of my room.
Blurry version of your... Oh, yeah.
It kind of looks like...
What the heck is that? It looks kind of like one of your video games.
It does, doesn't it?
Doesn't it?
Yeah. I like how it makes me look like a painting, a minimalist painting. I don't know if that's home.
That's crazy. I don't remember seeing that one before.
Yeah,
when you put them up.
We have
How many are there? I like that one. That looks like Vancouver. Honestly, that does look like Vancouver.
It might be.
It might be. It looks like Vancouver.
We have that. And we have the...
Your hipster hangout. Hipster hangout. Oh, there. So how many are there? How many were there?
That's it. Now,
how many are there? 5?
That's it. 5, 6.
5. 6? Okay.
Now you can add an image, which means I can take a picture of something else, like my room. When I decide to off my dog, I just take a picture of him sitting back there motionless like this. You guys would be like, "What's wrong with Scott's dog? Why won't it move?" Because I've offed him. You can put a picture there of anything.
Oh, that's the CGI that somebody was talking about. There's the CGI.
That's right.
But when you can't see Bo, it's just you. So everything else, Bo gets eliminated if he's in the background.
Yeah.
But
like I said, you can put a picture of anything back there. So.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go.
Is it reversed for you again? You complained that
it's reversed. For me, it's reversed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's funny.
It's a mirror image, so I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Good talking to you.
Yeah. Now we'll see you next month too. Yeah.
Yeah, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
That should be fun. And you're gonna head down to Cuba if you can?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Good.
Sure.
Good.
This time I really want to try to go see Hemingway's house. I know I want to do that for sure. Yeah.
Good. Take pictures inside Hemingway's house, and then I can add it to my backdrop. And I'll tell people I'm at Hemingway's house in Cuba.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what it's like down there since they had to. The tourism industry was really hurt bad down there, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I bet there's a lot of people buying bread at 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's right. That was the funniest thing.
Want some bread? I need some bread.
I should know the way the transactions were just kind of like, okay, where's the money? Here's your bread.
This chicken head dude is like runs off with a loaf of bread back to the alley where he came from. Oh yeah, I'm sure that's wheat in that bread. I'm sure.
Some serious bread deals going down there. They are serious about their bread.
Guy brought a VCR and tried to trade it for some bread. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, that should be cool. It'd be good to see you. I look forward to it. So does Bo. He'll be crawling all over you for the first 20 minutes.
Well, the way it works is you let me in, I rush for the counter, hop on a stool, bar stool, while you're holding him back. That's how it works.
After the first 5 to 10 minutes, he calms down.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But when I first come through the doors, it's chaos.
It is. It's just absolutely.
You're just holding him back as good as you can.
All right, one last time, you bastard. I'm gonna hide this. I wasn't even close. Shit, he almost knocked it down there by himself. Anyway, I gotta run.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And bye, Aunt BB fans.
Oh yeah. So thanks, Scott, for joining me once again. And whether people want us or not, this is what they get.
Well, not necessarily the entertainment people want, but what the entertainment people need.
It's what you get. And you get what you pay for. Yeah, that's what I always say. When people complain about the quality of my videos or lack of, I say, you get what you pay for.
It's the free markets, damn it. You wanted the free markets, you got them. All right, good to see you.
Okay. Bye, Scott.
Bye.
So I will end this recording.